Karl I, Charles of Hohenzollern-Sigmaringen, was born in 1839, and he served in the Prussian army, and he actually participated against the war against Denmark, because Prussia and Denmark were at war over Schleswig-Holstein, which is part of Denmark, and Prussia attacked Denmark, and Karl I, later Karl I, took part in the war against Prussia in 1865. And he was notable being an experienced soldier, notable leader as a lieutenant. In Romania at the time, the country was ruled by Alexander Young. The country was barely 10 years old in 1866. But the rebels had grown fed up with his liberal reforms, and had grown fed up with the corruption inside the Principality of Romania, which was then still under the Ottoman Empire as a tribute state. So the Romanians still had to pay tribute to the Ottoman Empire. And that reminds me of Britain today. Britain is like what Romania was in 1866. We have to pay tribute to the EU as a tribute to stay in this club. Romania had exactly the same thing now, but had the same thing in 1866. And the Ottoman Empire, the Ottoman Sultan, could force Romania to pay more or less if he wanted to. In 1869, Prince Carol married Elizabeth of Waned. She was noted as a dreamer, and she was very famous throughout Europe as a poet. And she wrote thousands of books on poetry. And she promoted the Romanian traditional costume, in part making just being peasantry garb. But it now seemed that Romanian culture was truly on the map of Europe, thanks to Elizabeth of Waned. She also created the Order of Elizabeth as well, which rewarded soldiers in battle as well. 12 years after becoming Prince of Romania, Prince Carol, encouraged by Russia, joined forces with the Russian Empire. Russia promised Romania's independence and guaranteed the territorial rights of Romania. And before Romania intervened with Russia against the Ottoman Empire, the Russians were being beaten back south of the Danube by the Ottoman Turks. And the Romanians came to the assistance of Russia. And Russia promised Romania independence if Romania was to force the Russians. The Romanians were victorious against the Ottoman Empire, particularly in the siege of Pleven. It was a glorious victory for Romania, and they managed to push the helpful Bulgarians, the Russians and Romanians began to actually push the Ottomans out of Europe, nearly out of Europe. But the Russians were on the gates of Constantinople, where the British sent a fleet to the Straits, warning the Russians to stay out of Constantinople. It's ridiculously known as Istanbul then and now. As you can see, this is a really fabulous artwork or painting showing the gallant Romanian army crossing the Danube to actually get into northern Bulgaria. And Karl I had actually shown his leadership skills, what he learned during that time fighting with the Prussian army against Denmark. he actually brought with him. So Karl first had military knowledge. Unfortunately, the Russians decided to strip Romania of Bessarabia and stab Romania in the back. This wasn't the first time Romania was stabbed in the back by the Russians. And in May 1881, the coronation of Karl I and his consort, Queen Elizabeth, happened. It was a marvellous affair. And the crown that Karl I wore, which can still be seen in the National Museum of Bucharest, was made out of a steel cannon captured from the Turks to symbolise Romania's independence. Karl I and Elizabeth had no children. Well, had children, had one child, Maria, but she died at the age of 4 years old. So Karl I designated his nephew, Ferdinand, as heir to the throne. The reign of Karl I saw the modernisation of Romania. Indeed, Karl I is known as the father of modern Romania, in which when he arrived in his country poor, backward, not many railways. From the time of his death in October 1914, Romania had advanced rapidly, thanks to a good economic partnership with Germany, and also thanks to Karl I himself. He ordered this bridge, called Karl I Bridge. I passed it on my way to Bucharest, back to Bucharest. I visited Constanza in August 2014. And only when you actually go past the bridge by railway can you actually appreciate the engineering and the architectural work that went into constructing this bridge. At the time it was built, this bridge was the longest in Europe. Because you think how wide the Danube is around this area, from Cerno Voda to Fieschi, is actually massive. During the reign of Karl I, learning and Romanian literature, poetry, really, this was really the golden age of Romanian thinking, ideas, and enlightenment. You can say the reign of Karl I was the age of the Romanian enlightenment, where you had Georgius Enescu, Triumvira, various inventors, magicians, composers, poets. And this was really the golden age of Romanian art and culture as well. And the statue here of the Karl I horse, well, unfortunately the communists decided to actually melt down the original golden horse. This one was just a clone, crappy clone copy. Even though the original architect who actually designed the golden one slated this clone version, and so it looked like crap. Basically, yeah, and just the University of Karl I passed this many times when I was in Bucharest. It is an impressive building. This is what I want to visit. A really fabulous palace in Romania called the Peneș Castle, Castelul Peneș. Looked like Karl I, of course. And it was a royal palace. And it was the first electric palace in Europe. And as many forms of dignitaries, and this is where Romania's declaration to say state neutral in 1914 happened as well. It was not used by the Ceausescu's during the communist era, for Ceausescu hated the building. But the building was finally returned to the Romanian royal family after many years of legalities. And there you have it. This is the brother of Karl I, called Leopold Hensley to American. He was offered the throne of Spain, but the French blocked it, and that obviously made Prussia, particularly Otto von Bismarck, furious. And he used Leopold as a sort of tool to actually declare war on France, and hence why the Franco-Prussian War started. This is the wife of Karl I, throughout Europe as being a person of poetry and a person of making a regal monarch, making countries fashion and folklore. And our person here, this here is the young person, heir to be on the Romanian throne. You can see Carol I looking at his heir, and they're probably spoken about Romania. Even Carol I, when young Britain showed, asked Carol I where to be the king of Romania, and apparently the story goes that Carol did not actually know where Romania was. For Romania, back in, think about the location, think about the transportation at the time, almost the people in Britain would not know where Romania was. If you ask any British person in 1866 where Romania was, I bet only 1% will probably say they knew where Romania was. It was only being for less than 10, it was only being a country for less than 10 years. So it's very obscure for many Europeans to know where Romania was. But Carol I changed that and put Romania on the map. After Russia's betrayal and backstabbing, Carol I and Romanian politicians became distrusted of Russia and feared Russian Islamization. So Carol I moved in his country towards an alliance with Germany, particularly Germany, and regrettably Austria-Hungary as well. The Germans said, you cannot have an alliance with us unless you're friends with Austria-Hungary as well. It was very wary and distrustful of the Hungarians. But Carol I managed to retain a good relationship with Franz Joseph, and here they are with the Austro-Hungarian royals as well. We're French family. The glorious reign of Carol I culminated in this 40th anniversary of the reign of Carol I. See, here we have ruler of Romania in 1866. 1866 to 1914, Romania really did transform. We are a modern European country. And also it was a glory age of Romanian economics as well. Romania became a very economic, viable country with oil wealth, grain wealth for its size. And Romania had, even with Romania without having Romania and Serbia, Romania had a larger GDP than Greece and Portugal at the time. Portugal had an empire. In 1914, the Great War broke out, and Carol I wanted Romania to join his mother country, Germany. But the Romanians districts were pro-French. Most Romanian politicians were pro-French as well. They kept the alliance with German Austria-Hungary secret from the Romanians. And in August 1914, the Crown Council voted to stay neutral, which is very wise. And in October 1914, Carol I died, leaving King Ferdinand, influenced by his pro-British wife, Marie, to lead Romania into the First World War on the Allied side. Carol I was voted by Romanians as the second greatest Romanian in Romanian history, for modernisation, for his great leadership skills, and of course, because it was one of the most glorious parts of Romanian history. It was like since 1948. If you saw the country from 1866 to 1948, you saw a massive transformation of the country itself. Well, Carol I was a strong man. He was proud of his country. He raised its prestige, and he was also very serious about his role as well. Most people say, oh, we've got a king of Romania, he will do that. But Carol I privileges step up to the plate to be a strong monarch of virtues and of morals as well.